Good afternoon and welcome to this week's People to People Australia Live, our regular market update to take a look at the latest insights into recent employment and job seeker trends. I'm Kim Padmore, the WA Managing Director here at our People to People Perth office. On today's special edition of P2P Live, we will be looking back at some of the leading industry trends and insights that we've talked about from the first half of 2024 and how they've impacted the talent landscape across Australia. So let's jump straight into our countdown with Stat of the Week.
Now, normally we would be using the statistics from the Australian Bureau of Statistics or some large supplier and external to People to People. This time, we're actually pulling some data from our annual market report. It's a comprehensive document that we produce each year that our clients get a hold of right at the beginning. Actually, there's a pre-launch and some of them have already got it into their hands. So we've got some interesting data here on confidence from clients. That is how confident are they in securing talent in 2024? Now, as you can see here, that we asked the question, how confident are you? And rate it between 1 and 10, and 10 being the most confident and 1 being not confident at all. And you can see that basically around 7 or 8 is where people are landing, and about 80% are in that box there. So, but what's clearly evident is that people are a little bit gun shy to actually go towards a 9 or a 10. So they're not overly confident in securing the best talent. But let's have a look at what the candidates think about their job seekers, I should say, their confidence in securing a new opportunity. Well, clearly it's more of a candidates market out there, because 62%, and just have a look at the number of people who actually, well, not the number, but the result of those who said 10 out of 10, I can get another job. Now, when we're sitting at unemployment rates that start with a 3, then you can clearly see how that impacts the confidence of job seekers in being able to secure another role. Now, will that maintain as unemployment continues to rise in 2024? I'm not sure. I don't know. But that particular gap, I think, will close. What I mean by that is that job seekers will become less confident in securing an opportunity, and that clients will become more confident in being able to secure that talent as the market changes. What I won't expect, though, is a crash or a radical shift in this in the immediate future. I think we're talking long term here. So if you're a hiring manager, don't expect that you're going to be able to grab a hold of talent really quickly. And if you're a job seeker, well, the market is still pretty strong, but it's certainly not at the levels that it was this time last year. So that is this week's Stat of the Week.
statistics for Q1 of 2024 that was released this week by the ABS. And as you can see from the graph here on the screen, seasonally adjusted wages grew by 0.8% in the March quarter of 2024. The private sector was the main contributor to the overall increase in wages, rising 0.8%, with public sector salaries and wages rising 0.5%. Annual wage growth was down 4.1%. The annual wage growth was 4.1%, down from 4.2 annual rise recorded in the December quarter of 2023. This is the smallest increase in the annual wages since the December quarter of 2020. Throughout the year, the private sector wage growth of 4.1% was slightly lower than the peak of 4.2 recorded over the last 2 quarters of 2023. But this has been the highest annual growth for the sector since December 2008, so quite some time there. Annually, public sector wages rose 3.8% in the March quarter to 2024, lower than the 4.3 annual rise in the December quarter of 23, but higher than the same period last week. And of note, of course, early in the week, some of you might have seen that the unemployment stats did come out. And in next week's P2P Live, we will unpack those and see how they do affect the recruitment market. So everyone, that's it for the stat of the week.
So hot off the press, we've got some stats that have been released by ABS, just come out regarding the latest economic data. So the first one to share with you is our economy, which everyone would have seen no doubt in the headlines today, a modest 0.1% in the March quarter and 1.1% compared to the March quarter of 2023. Whilst this was the 10th successive quarter of GDP growth, GDP per capita fell for the 5th quarter in a row due to weak economic growth and strong population growth, which has made quite a difference. The second point I'd mention is around the annual inflation. So this continued to ease. The consumer price index rose 1% in the March quarter and was up 3.6% compared to the March quarter of 2023. This marked the 5th consecutive quarter of lower inflation compared to the previous year. Inflation for tradable goods slowed as some imported goods like footwear, furniture, household appliances were cheaper than a year ago. And lastly, get to wages. So wages continue to grow. The wage price index rose 0.83% in the quarter, reaching 3 consecutive quarters of it being above the 4% mark compared to a year ago. The last time this happened was in March, quarter 2009. So during the quarter, private sector wages grew at a faster pace than those in the public sector. So there you have it, hot off the press from the ABS.
That is it for today. So thank you so much for joining us on this week's P2P Live. We'll be back next week to cover the latest market and employment updates across Australia at 12:30. So see you then.